A trade wind crossing of the Atlantic Ocean is on many sailors' bucket list. While we're having our new southerly 480 built, we wanted to share with you some of our television shows about voyages we've made, in this case the longest passage we ever made. Cheryl and I had crossed the Atlantic before, with just the two of us, but for a 3,000-mile crossing it's a lot more fun with 4 people. Join us for an 18-day passage across the Atlantic Ocean to the Caribbean. Thank you to Pantaenius Yacht Insurance, who have insured Distant Shores since 1996, and for their support bringing you these Distant Shores classic videos. This passage involves crossing the Bay of Biscay, down Portugal, then offshore to Madeira and the Canaries, before heading across the big old Atlantic Ocean. We will be offshore and out of sight of land for most of the next 2 months. Leaving England late November, we have short days and long nights, but every day it gets warmer as we run from winter. I had watched carefully for a weather window, so we have no gales for the 4 days across the feared Bay of Biscay. Then we sail south along the Spanish and Portuguese coasts. It's early December as we head for Madeira, 700 miles from Lisbon. Arriving at dawn with the lights and warm air, it feels we have finally escaped the clutches of the English winter. We head for the town market in Funchal to restock with fresh vegetables. Christmas is approaching, and although we would love to see more of Madeira, it will have to wait till the next visit. We sail 2 days south to Gran Canaria, where we will get ready for the passage across the Atlantic, nearly 3,000 miles in 3 weeks at sea. It will be the longest sail we have ever done, and for the first time on a major passage we have invited 2 friends. Wayne and Angie will join us as crew. The first job is to get enough provisions for the 4 of us for 3 weeks at sea.
Okay, we've been to the grocery store and we're just collecting up the supplies now that they've kindly delivered straight to the dock, and there's a lot of them.
This is 2 very full, overflowing shopping carts that we could hardly push around the store.
Well, this is it, heading out from Gran Canaria across the Atlantic. Got a lovely day, maybe 2 or 3 weeks to cross the Atlantic. My goodness, we haven't done this for years. We've got Wayne and Angie on board to help out, and it's going to be a really fun passage. On the first 3 days out from the Canaries, we have the fastest sailing so far. Strong winds from behind push us at almost 180 miles per day, faster than we thought this boat would be able to do on long passages.
Looking at the sail at the moment to make sure that the rig isn't chafing the sail away. We've put something called baggy wrinkle on the spreader bars for the rig, which helps to alleviate chafe and stress on the sail. So we're just checking that everything's okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it looks good. There's a little bit of marking on the batten pockets which we need to keep an eye on, but other than that it's working well. So the work that we did in Las Palmas has really worked out for us.
At sea, there must be someone on watch 24 hours a day to trim the sails and keep a lookout for ships. Wayne and Angie are very experienced long-distance cruisers, so when we're off watch, we know that the boat and crew are in good hands. We stand 3-hour watches during the day and 2-hour watches throughout the night. We're 1,800 miles from Antigua, and we're having a nice dinner leg of lamb, vegetables, rice, and a bit of a party.
Yay! Ready for a party.
We will cross 4 time zones on this passage, subtracting 1 hour each time. So there is some question about when the proper New Year is.
What time should we celebrate New Year's?
I think we're going to celebrate it at the ship's time because it works out really well for our shift patterns. And Wayne and I are on 9 till midnight, and Cheryl joins us at midnight, so we just have to drag you out of bed.
So we're drinking our wine, just a little wine for everybody in our mugs tonight, just because it's a bit rolly. And Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
It's to 2008. This looks fabulous. Happy New Year!
Woohoo!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Actually,
Oh, there you go.
cheers. I got 10,
1,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
2008.
Happy New
Cheers.
Year! Happy New Year!
Cheers. Okay, that's it.
Now it's going to go straight to the winch. As the wind shifts to a new direction, we're going to have to change the sails over to accommodate that new angle. This will mean moving the boom across to the other side to hold out our big genoa and shifting the pole over to the other side where it will hold out the small jib. Changing the sails over like this when sailing downwind is called jibing and can be tricky.
That's it. Yeah, nice and easy. Just let it go out.
It's day 6, and all the bananas have ripened. We bought them green, but the last ones are ready to be eaten. And we've turned the corner to Antigua, so we're opening the rum and we're making banana rum dessert.
Quite a big one.
We're now in the trade wind belt, and we've been seeing a lot of flying fish scared off at our approach. This one took a wrong turn.
Like a butterfly almost. Like a dragonfly. Well, chap, you're famous, even though you've hit the bucket.
Traditional wisdom says you should head south from the Canaries until the butter melts, when you will pick up the trade winds, which will blow you west towards the Caribbean. Christopher Columbus discovered this route, and it is still the best strategy. Oh man, what a gorgeous day. This is day 12. Sailing along, scooting nicely about 6 knots here. Yeah, 6 and a bit knots with really light winds, but with setting all the 3 sails up, she's catching and drawing really well. So about maybe 6 days to the Caribbean.
The boat's been very fast. I've been quite impressed with the boat speed. We've been making some very fast runs, which is great. We've had great sailing wind. It's been fairly constant, other than a couple of days where we had lighter winds and a few squalls come through. The weather's been really good, probably better than I expected.
Were you nervous about this, heading off to the sea for a long passage before you did this, or?
No, I wasn't nervous about coming to sea. It was more wondering what to expect. As I said, it's kind of like, was it going to be more of an endurance? How comfortable was it going to be? I mean, the most that we'd spent at sea before was 3 days, so this was quite a lot longer than that. So it was a good experience to see how you do feel after 3 days, how you get into the passage. And that's one of the things that we found, is that after 3 or 4 days you really do sort of fit into the life at sea, and things get a lot easier and a lot more sort of normal, natural. We're not too far away from Antigua now, maybe about 900 miles or less. So yeah, everything's working up to the landfall, and that's really exciting.
Countdown! 900 miles to go to Antigua.
It's our first time in the Caribbean as well, so that would be a great experience for us to see what that's all about.
We were putting our last jug of fuel in. We had a couple of spare jugs, so another 22 liters. But it's calm enough that we can get it in today. You got the funnel there, Wayne?
So how many liters?
It's about 22 litres, so it should give us about 10 hours of motoring.
Great, well that's done. Lighten up the back too, yeah, success. So maybe 10 more hours of motoring if we need it. Who'd have thought we'd need it? I tell you, these trade winds. Not supposed to be needing to motor in the trade winds. We've had some really light winds. So much good fast passaging at the beginning, and now this sort of strange, almost doldrum clouds we've seen around here.
3 knots.
3 knots.
10 days ago.
It's like 2 weeks ago, that would have been kind of like, you know, sort of so slow when we were doing sort of 7 and 8 knots. And now we're just down to sort of like 3 knots, and we're thinking, yay, 3 knots!
Let me start with Distant Shores. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Herb. This is Paul and Cheryl on board Distant Shores. Very light winds today, only about 5 knots of wind. Our position is 1725 north and 5726 west. How copy, Herb? Over.
Roger, good copy on that. These light easterly winds in the area. You're getting pretty well very little of any trade wind pattern. You probably moved through that convection activity last night. Did you get some squalls over?
Yes, Roger, we did. We had some heavy rain, but not very much in the way of wind. And unfortunately, now we don't have any fuel left. So we're just going to go really slow. And do you think we're going to pick up any wind? Over?
I think for tomorrow, you'll remain under pretty well the same light conditions, although maybe no, I don't see a pickup. Easterly, east-southeasterlies, I would say less than 10 knots through tomorrow. Give it another 36 hours and you'll get back into some wind, over.
I'm seeing a white light. Is it a navigation light? Yeah, I think I can see a light limb of Antigua, the lights.
So, land ho?
Yeah, maybe our first sightings.
Hey, hey.
Feels quite strange actually approaching land.
Just hope this little bit of wind keeps blowing until midnight.
Very exciting after all this time, 18 days at sea, to finally see land appear on the horizon.
If you dream of making an ocean passage, this tradewind route is one of the best. Click the link above for another crossing we did on our 49-footer. Now that we're having a new southerly 480 built, we're again planning an Atlantic crossing next year. Thanks again to Pantaenius Yacht Insurance, who have insured Distant Shores since 1996, and for their support bringing you these Distant Shores classic videos. Please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and let us know in the comments if you're contemplating an ocean crossing. And don't forget to subscribe for upcoming videos.